I'm getting tired of waiting. What say we just get started, It's time for the long-awaited...
I'm bored. Time for the trial.
Class trial! Now then, allow me to appoint a proper location for the proceedings. Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon!
His laugh is very annoying. The red door on the first floor. That's where I should go. No, where I have to go. Alright. Stop being dramatic. Why does this school have, like, a cushioned door?
You!
You're late, Makoto! We've all been waiting for you! I bet you were afraid you would be discovered as the murderer you are.
Listen to me!
Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Save that for the class trial. There, we can all reveal the details of Makoto's crime. So they really are convinced I did it, but... I didn't do it. Me and Sayaka both know that all too well. But then who is the killer? The one who murdered Sayaka. Is it really one of us?
Is everyone here? Okay then. Please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fates will be decided.
This school has a courtroom?
I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
What kind of school has an underground courtroom? Or maybe it's above ground. I don't know whether this elevator goes up or down.
Yes, indeed. Hey,
Are you scared? No, scared isn't quite right.
Makoto.
I said it before, but it's up to you to uncover the mysteries surrounding this case yourself. If you don't, you'll never come to grips with the truth. I need to uncover the truth of Sayaka's death. I didn't need someone else to tell me to do that. In Sayaka's honor, I swear I'll find out who the real killer is. As I raised my voice to try to give myself courage, I turned, trembling with anticipation, toward the elevator. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. Everyone else was already on the elevator. When I finally stepped on, the doors closed and the elevator started to move. Now it's going up or down? It's going down, okay. Why do we have an underground courtroom? The steel box descended with heavy clunking sounds towards the school's basement. I wonder if this is how a death row inmate feels when his time finally comes.
Oh,
Rather than that, is it not more like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment? Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived! What do you think? Doesn't it feel just like a real courtroom? It's like a Hollywood movie set, right? Not even close, it's total shit.
Well now.
Okay, everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up now, hurry up! We did what he said and found our seats. Those aren't seats. Those are just like semicircles. The seats, which are not seats, were arranged in a giant circle. It was set up so that everyone could see everyone else. Which also meant it'd be easy for anyone to transfer their tension and unease onto anyone else. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. And so the curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment. A deadly deception. A deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle. A deadly defense. A deadly faith. What the heck are you doing, Makoto? A deadly class trial. Why did you say all of those things? Alright, I'm gonna start saving in separate slots in case of a power outage or something. Oh, set skills. What's open e-handbook? Oh, I can look at my evidence. I'll do that if I need to. Set skills. I have 11 SP, and I have no skills. I thought I had a skill. I do. Increased damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during bullet time battle. Don't know what that means, but I'm gonna take it because it's my only skill. Trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
All right.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course.
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Are you serious?
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
I'm liking Mondo.
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick?
But Kyoko seems to be the only one who's really keeping it together.
What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Oh, come on, Hifumi.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for
It was
the
an awfully
piano.
strange thing to just gloss over.
To get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
I mean, everything else has been so meticulously prepared. Why would you have an extra space? It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about anything. Because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Sure. What am I doing? As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to aim and then fire with the triangle button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the options button during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun! Okay, I need to shoot false statements with bullets of truth. Alright. I have the truth bullet, evidence of a struggle. So I guess I'm looking for something that contradicts that.
The one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Yeah, we know that part already. And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom.
So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
That's not true.
No, it's wrong.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
That music seemed really loud compared to the dialogue to any of you.
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
Hifumi, someone died. We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Don't we know this already? It's fairly obviously the knife sticking out of her.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had.
No, he's wrong.
Okay, this is kind of intuitive. I'm getting this. Seems a little easy, but I guess I'm still at the beginning.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Did nobody take it out and look at it?
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Why did no one take it out? It's literally the murder weapon. We should have looked at that.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
Is her tie just, like, square at the bottom? She's right. There's gotta be a breakthrough somewhere, just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Yeah. You can concentrate by holding R1. While you're concentrating, time slows down so you can pay closer attention. On top of it, it'll steady your aim. Concentrating consumes the focus gauge. The focus gauge will recover over time. Cool. Okay. Make your argument. Awie's account. What did Aoi say? I can't remember. Okay, good. I can't look at these things. What am I contradicting here? Kitchen knife went missing while she was in the dining hall. Oh, yeah.
Kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can turn this music down. Can I do that? No. No. I'll do it later.
He did it in secret. Nobody was in the...
No, that's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall drinking your tea? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Only one of us gets out. There's no reason for her to help me, Toko.
Idiot swimmer girl?
And yeah, that too.
Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But
generally.
what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Don't bore Monokuma!
Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
I can.
You don't argue with Sakura.
That's right! Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well,
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
Taka?
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Is he wearing, like, crossed suspenders? What is going on with his, like, X? Is it just a target if someone wants to shoot him?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you talking about...
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was Sayaka.
Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
That is the creepiest smile. Why are you blushing, Toko?
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction?
Are you wearing an avatar tie?
You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Yeah, listen to Kyoko.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Are you confused by what she said, or do you not know what bewildering means?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Sure, I don't know what that is. As things advance further in a class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to deduce a phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the left stick to aim, triangle to shoot, so I'm playing Hangman with a gun. Okay. And if I fail, then I lose. Something that should have been at the scene but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. If I can just figure out what that something is. Hangman's Gambit. 4 letter starts with an H. A. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is just the hair that was lint rolled up. Ta-da! I'm so good at Hangman.
Now I understand.
That's why I always start with the word
That's
Sphinx.
right.
Nobody thinks of that
There
one.
wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
I have a question. This seems like a lot of effort to go through lint rolling the entire room. Did the actual killer think we had a forensics lab or something?
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Thank you.
Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene?
Other than the body in it?
Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
What is this, a pop quiz? Just tell them! Fine.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
Does he have a giant safety pin on his jacket?
You
Why?
still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Sure. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is that not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important, because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Alright, so gotta be more careful now. Shouldn't be too hard since we still only have one truth bullet. I'm assuming that will change, but maybe it won't. Bathroom door free.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
That doesn't contradict the door frame.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Does he have a Gears of War t-shirt on?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame.
Every time I
quite
see him, I
right.
have a question about his wardrobe.
Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door...
You're the one that gave it to me.
That's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door
How
didn't
does a
open
robot
was
flush?
just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that, and
Or rather,
assumed
a
it was
remote
locked.
control bear.
So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake. thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
Why would they think the door was locked? That would probably be because
I got it!
they didn't know it was my room.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Why does his voice change?
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
That's a terrible idea.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
You're dumb.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
I was hoping for someone smarter.
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine.
I like Hina.
Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so...
I'm not sure how she gets her hair to do that, but this is anime, so...
Well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
How?
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
Hifumi, are you okay?
Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
No, she can't possibly have invited her killer in, because the whole reason we switched rooms was because she was terrified.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh?
What?
Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
Wait a minute.
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's a meeting I want to talk, or there's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil, and these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
Hina, are you planning on writing incriminating things?
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique. But even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I
No,
didn't.
obviously not.
Of course you didn't. Because the note
I was
also
right.
bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
She may not have been trying to stab me, but she was definitely trying to betray me. I feel less bad about making fun of her now. Then that note. Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
I thought you were into 2D, man.
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
What is this voice change thing you're doing?
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Make your argument, okay. Dorm nameplates, cool.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that
No,
Nope.
it's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
I was asleep.
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
Only one person could have switched the nameplates,
I got it!
and that was Sayaka.
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
A, why are you so surprised by that? And B, you're really jumping to conclusions here.
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot.
I really like Mondo and Hina so far.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Well, obviously it's because her right wrist was covered in glitter.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword, right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. Still more to learn about non-stop debates, okay. Are you getting used to these? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. I was right. But just like with the weak spots, only one of them can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullet with the right weak spot to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combo, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. Now, one rotates the cylinder. Okay. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded. No, we picked mean. Replica sword, kitchen knife. Okay, I'll have to see which one seems to make more sense.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. The sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Maizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
That doesn't sound right. Wait a minute, hang on.
When the fighting broke out,
I need to look at the sword sheath. Scratch with the sharp object. Okay, I think I know what to do.
the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. Sword-based sneak attack.
Yes!
No, that's wrong.
I mean, no, that's wrong. Yeah, what he said.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere, then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
I'm trying to hit the button to go forward, and it's not working.
Sorry,
There we go.
but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
For some reason, my controller, stopped responding. I had to switch to a different controller. That was weird.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Oh, right.
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
Toko!
No, that's
What?
not it at all.
No, it's because the water was turned off. It was night.
According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower
Why not?
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
Why haven't you taken a shower? And why would you admit that?
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
It was obviously an insult.
Insult, obviously.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
That would have to be Sayaka.
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Dun dun dun!
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out, while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior.
What, I'm not capable of speaking in my own defense?
I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument!
You know, I kind of forgot he was here.
You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Are you kidding?
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
There's a really obvious clue.
There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message.
The dying
she wrote
message?
something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037.
That's not what
Written in
that
her own
says.
blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
I got it!
Blood on her
The
finger.
left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
If you know who did it, write it down and see if you're right.
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
It's a weird way of saying that.
But even if that really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it, it's no use. I just don't know. Oh, please, come on.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Thank you. I think maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right on to who did it.
The clue is a name. We know who did it now.
Whose name did she write?
The real killer's name. How's your chance? Before I press the button.